Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about a panda commission that I got recently, and it was for that set of 3 that I did 2 wools with, so stay tuned. So as normal, starting off with that resin cast of the head, and it's, again, I've sculpted it out of monster clay. Actually, this one was Sculpey because it was one of my original first dolls, so the mold is still okay and it's still going. So yeah, this one was sculpted out of Sculpey, molded in silicone, and then I cast things in resin. So I kind of want to redo all of my older sculpts because they are really popular. So I'm thinking that I may do some new bears and wolves and foxes to have compatible glass eyes as well for casting. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. So I'm starting off as usual, painting around the eyes, nose and mouth in that black chromacryl acrylic paint, and again you can use any acrylic paint that you like. And I have put a primer coat of paint on, and it's just a paint that has a good tooth, so it has something for the paint to stick to. Alright, so once that's dry, I'll then move on to painting the iris, and I'm choosing a really nice bronze sort of colour. I did want to give it some kind of sparkle in the eye, so I know pandas primarily have brown eyes. But I wanted to add just a little bit of sparkle to it, so I'm using this nice bronze colour from Jacquard. And then I'll leave that to dry and come back and do the pupils. So again, I'm using that dry brush technique and just building upon the black layers to make a pupil that is sort of feathered out at the edges, so it's not such a stark line. So just some commission info, they are currently closed right now. I have a large order from somewhere special, it's a secret, coming in, so they'll probably be closed for at least 2 months or something. I have a couple more to finish off at the moment, but yeah, I was planning to open them again very soon, but then I got this special project and I can't do them. And so I'm painting up the claws now, and I have actually 4 different claws for this bear, mainly because the pads on each of the feet are very different. So I didn't want to use the same claws for each feet because they are different. So I did sculpt 4 different paws and mold them in silicone and then cast them all. So these ones that I'm painting now, sorry for the weird blurriness, this is the front paw and the other one was the back paw. So this is the fur that I'll be using. I'm doing something a little bit different, and I'll be airbrushing the black markings onto the panda. So I am doing the body out of white fur first off, and you can see that I have marked out all of the shapes for the body, and then I'll be cutting them out, and just be careful again not to cut the pile of the fur and to just cut the backing. So just stick your smaller pair of scissors is better than bigger pairs, and make sure they're sharp too, because it just becomes very troublesome if they're not sharp. And just insert it in between the pile and just cut the batting. So once I've cut all the pieces out, I will then pin them to get first side together and run it through the sewing machine with a larger stitch. But I'll try and do a video on the settings and stuff that I do for sewing on the sewing machine. And then anyway, here's what we have. So the back end is open, so I can flip the fur the right side around, and also the back legs are open, but the front legs aren't because they're quite big legs, so I can actually push the fur through it, no problems at all. But if they are smaller, you do need to leave the legs open because it's too hard to get the fur to turn around on itself. Okay, so after that I then make the armature. I'm going to be switching to mostly ball and socket armatures, but I will still be using some metal armatures for smaller dolls as well, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So once I've made that metal armature, I then insert it through the body, and then I will attach the resin pieces to the armature, and then I end up sewing it up. So I do stuff the dolls with polyfill as well. If you're curious about that, I can try and make a video about that, but I don't know how long it will be. It'll probably be really short. But if you're interested, leave me a comment in the comments, and I'll try and get to it, and maybe some questions on, you know, things like polyfill and stuff. So once it's all been sewn up with that lattice stitch, I will then attach the fur pieces to the resin. And I use a tacky fabric glue that I get from my local Spotlight store. And then I will then move on to furring the face. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like just freshly after it's been furred. So you can see it is a bit messy and blah blah blah, and then I can do some things to it that will refine it a bit more. And again, it's something that I have developed myself, so it's not something I'm really willing to share. So I'm just going to quickly gloss over the airbrushing because I want to do a separate video for it, but I am using that iWater airbrush, and you can check out my airbrush video. I'll try and link it below about what airbrushes I use. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly gloss over it, but definitely check out the airbrush video if you want to know all of the materials I use to airbrush fur. So once it is dry, I then move on to another process, which is combing it out. But again, I will go through it in that separate airbrushing video, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So after the airbrushing was done, the doll is finished, so it's all dry and everything. It's ready to be sent off home. So I'll quickly go over just a quick run around the doll, but yeah, here's it. What do you guys think? And here are some final images. Alright, that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. That's my cat. She's a loud mouth. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!